They want to tell you that it's only for the people that deliberately start fires. That's not what's happening. They're cracking down on people hiking, fishing, camping, using recreational vehicles like an ATV. Somehow hiking, preventing people from walking, is preventing forest fires.
Disrupt America till I fuck.
Weird thing to happen. So if you're one of those people that aren't alarmed with what's happening in Nova Scotia and only think that it's only their province that's dealing with this overreaching authoritarian measure, you might want to think again. Because according to the National Post, dry conditions prompt New Brunswick to follow Nova Scotia's lead and shut down forests to public use. An outright burn ban is in place in Nova Scotia right now, with violators facing a $25,000 fine. Now, they claim in the article that it's a burn ban, which, if it was just going after and penalizing people that deliberately start fires in dry conditions, then it'd be a different conversation. But what we saw in the previous segment is this is a full-reaching measure to crack down on civilians and people enjoying the outdoors. A man who barely got into the forest just hiking was penalized over $28,000. And you're thinking, well, wait a second, it's only supposed to be $25,000. Yeah, that's on top of taxes and victim fees for apparently barely walking into the forest. That's the criminal charge. He barely walked in to a forest area for a simple hike, and he was penalized over $28,000. That's more than most assault charges are in the province. And now it's happening in New Brunswick. And it's also happening in Newfoundland and Labrador, as the Premier announces 6 months of a prison sentence and increased fines of over $55,000 to $100,000, from $75 for residents of the province who break a fire ban. Now again, they want to tell you that it's only for the people that deliberately start fires. But that's not what's happening. That's not what's happening. They're cracking down on people hiking, fishing, camping, using recreational vehicles like an ATV or a dirt bike, anywhere within the province that they have closed off. So think about how sinister this is, and then think about how this kind of seems familiar. It's almost like a deja vu. And I hope people think of it as a deja vu, because we saw a lot of this when it came to COVID. And now it's happening once again, because this is somehow a precursor measure to prevent wildfires by banning people from having an enjoyable summer outdoors. So here's the Premier of Newfoundland Labrador explaining this draconian outright disaster against his own people.
So as we said, we have taken decisive action to help address this situation. Yesterday, we announced we would increase fines for violating the forest fire regulations, and as I said today, we'll share the details. So effective today, new fines will range from $50,000 to $150,000. For a first offense, when a ticket is issued, fines will increase from $75 to $50,000. And imprisonment in default of payment will increase from 3 days to up to 6 months. For a subsequent offense, fines will increase from $150 to $75,000. Imprisonment for not paying will increase from 6 days to up to 6 months. Where there's a summons issued, a first offense, fines will increase from $500 to $50,000 to $100,000 range, and imprisonment will increase from up to 3 months to up to 1 year. For a subsequent offense, fines increase from a minimum of $1,000 to $75,000 to $150,000, and imprisonment in default will be increased from up to 3 months from up to 1 year.
So, this is devastating. This is devastating. This is authoritarianism. This is your premiers, your government, tracking further on the heads of their own civilians. The people that got them elected, the people that put them into power, put them in this position, financing them through tax dollars, and they're being penalized from enjoying summer. It's absolutely insane. It's absolutely insane. And we showed this in the previous segment, but I just want to highlight again that it's devastating not only for the citizens within these provinces, but for tourism and for business. Travel and World Tour World says Canada's shocking new ban on hiking and camping, how wildfires are crushing tourism and trapping locals in 2025. So this is discouraging people from going to Atlantic Canada. This is discouraging people from traveling into these provinces, knowing that there's harsh penalties from walking outside, from going into the forest, for enjoying, for hiking, for swimming, for camping in these areas. So this is hurtful to the tourism industry, but somehow preventing future wildfires in this measure. Somehow hiking, preventing people from walking, is preventing forest fires, as if our toes somehow can combust into flames. It's unbelievable. So this guy, there's some commenters that are defending this. I kid you not, defending this. This guy, Gareth Allen, says, so if you trip, break the glass on your watch, the sun catches the glass fragment you didn't pick up, and due to the lensing effect, starts a fire due to the extremely dry conditions. But no, you can't go for your walk somewhere else because you're a selfish idiot. Just grow up. That's an adult telling you that. That's an adult defending this ridiculous fine by saying, grow up, walk somewhere else. This is what you call brainwashed. This is what you call a person with no critical thinking skills. That they go with the flow, they kiss up to the establishment, they kiss up to these authoritarian measures, thinking that's good for them. After everything that we went through with COVID, after everything we went through in the last 10 or so years, there's still schmucks like this guy who are defending crazy penalties and fines and criminal charges like this, from defending restrictions of Canadians enjoying summer. That's just insane. But what if they trip and the glass breaks and it starts a wildfire? What if a meteor came down and combusted into a fire? Who do we blame then? Who do we point the finger at that time? What if the dinosaurs come back and breathe fire? What if a dragon appears? What if anything happens? You're going to prevent more people from going outside? Like, how stupid that sounds. How stupid this guy actually sounds. And that's a grown-ass adult. That's a grown-ass adult who clearly did not use his brain. And if they can restrict people from hiking in a forest, don't you think they could take it elsewhere and prevent you from going outside, period? Oh, there's grass area. The grass is too dry, so you can't go to a park. You can't walk on grass. You can't walk outside, period. We're doing this for your safety. So, I like this guy's response. Zachary Tisdale says, the only way to stop car crashes is to ban all driving. That's exactly this guy's logic. The only way to prevent car crashes is just ban the cars. Hey, you want to prevent injuries from hiking? Ban all hiking. Yes. Yes. It shows the idiocracy that comes from these people. But what if you crash and it starts a fire somewhere? Unbelievable. And he says, what do you call this type of logic? I call it insane. I call it brainwash. I call it a mental disorder at that point. You're really going out of your way to defend a sinister move, a tactic from the Atlantic provinces, penalizing people for going outside and walking in a forest because somehow that's stopping these forest fires that are still continuing, by the way. Still continuing. So these bans are not working. They're not working whatsoever. But it's a great way to rule over people. It's a great way to crack down on individuals. It's a good way to restrict people's rights and abilities and freedoms of Canadians. So it's great for government authoritarianism. It's great for the oligarchy. Not so good for anyone else. And as Government EXE Corrupt points out, that these are the people cheering on hiking and camping bans in Nova Scotia. Canada is filled with blanks like this. I can't say that word because we're on YouTube. But so this is the city council that's enforcing these bans. And you notice all of them are on a Zoom call. All of them are inside their house. And all of them are wearing masks. I just find that so hysterical. It literally is a skit. It's a joke. Reality has become a joke. These are people inside their own homes, isolated within whatever room of their house, away from everybody else, and they're masked up on a Zoom call, telling you that you can't go outside and enjoy summer. That we got the best measures intact. Trust us. Trust the science. Trust us. We got your best interest in mind. People that are masked up inside their own house. This SNL couldn't write better material than this. This is a joke. It's a literal joke. What this has become. And these are the people enforcing this law, enforcing these harsh penalties for people going outside. Unbelievable. And yet there's people defending this. There's people literally defending this because they are sucked into a cult. They are sucked into a political cult. These people are brainwashed and completely took out whatever little critical thinking skills they had left in their bodies, completely wiped that away to bow down to these idiots. And don't realize how hysterical it is that we're getting advice from people that are masked on a Zoom call inside their own homes. How hysterical this is. And these are the experts we're supposed to be trusting. Well, if they're the so-called experts in knowing about how to prevent these wildfires, if they're the so-called experts to understand the situation that's happening, I'm surprised they don't refer to this. As Table Salt points out, this is from the Government of Canada website. So he's getting this right from the federal government data. It says 81% of forest area burnt in fire season is from lightning strikes. That's from the Government of Canada website. That's not just a number he pulled out of thin air. That's from the Government of Canada's website pointing that out. They can't ban lightning. So what do? They ban hiking because they learned that they can make you do anything during COVID. Exactly. Exactly. And it's only going to get worse because they have more and more opportunities to control you thanks to the beta test of COVID. Thanks to now introducing digital IDs, now that they have control over your bank accounts, that they can debank you, they have more opportunities to do these sinister acts on you. Even if it contradicts the whole concept, like we see here, they're banning hiking and fishing and camping and outdoor fun, claiming that it's preventing more wildfires, even though the federal government data proves otherwise. It proves that lightning strikes occur more wildfires than hiking or fishing or camping outside. Unbelievable. It's absolutely unbelievable. We've had fire bans for years. We've had summers with droughts and numerous times way beforehand. We didn't have to have a $25,000 fine. But all of a sudden now, they're introducing this legislation to all these provinces. And it's hurting the civilians. It's hurting tourism. Nobody wants to go to Atlantic Canada now because they can't go outside. They can't enjoy summer. How do you think it's going to affect businesses in your area doing this? So here's Government of Canada website, pointing this out. It says forest fires and lightning. Here are some quick facts regarding forest fires from Natural Resources Canada. And there it is. Represented 81% of the total area burned. Represents 45% of all fires. So it's more likely that it's caused by lightning, or it could be caused by arson, as we've seen numerous articles pointing that out. And yet the arsonists that deliberately cause these fires get weaker penalties than the people just trying to enjoy the summer. How crazy that is. How crazy that is. How messed up and backwards that is. And you wonder why crime has run amok. You wonder why our judicial system is such a joke that an arsonist that puts out 30 fires in one province, causing mass devastation, all he has to do is community service. And yet people that are walking outside enjoying nature have to get penalized up to $28,000. Over $28,000, by the way. For this. And that's the federal government data collection. That's from Natural Resources Canada, contradicting everything the Atlantic provinces are telling you. So, go figure. Go figure how sinister this is. I like this one, though. And I would laugh more harshly. I would laugh more if I didn't think in the back of my mind that maybe this could be a reality. So someone put this together. It's a little, I don't know if people can see. It's a little blurry, but I blew it up as much as I can. It says, get your forest fire vaccination today. Prevent the spread of wildfires. It's just one shot. I would laugh more if I didn't think that there's possibly a chance. And I'm only saying that, I know it sounds like some sort of tinfoil hat conspiracy, that why would they create a vaccine for wildfires? Let me tell you, after how many years of doing this, after how many articles that we have uncovered and explored and dealt with these sinister plots from the government, from agencies, from all across the board, anything is possible. Anything is possible. If you can think it, they're probably in the works of doing it, or it's already been done. So it wouldn't surprise me if all of a sudden they start releasing vaccinations for wildfire smoke instead of actually preventing the forest fires, instead of actually coming to measures that would actually extinguish the wildfires and actually criminally charge the arsonists and people that deliberately cause them. They rather charge people for going outside, enjoying nature, and move into kind of this direction. More and more into this direction. I tell you, as a Canadian myself, looking at all this, looking at the headlines, looking the direction of where this country is heading, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know if I can even hold on to even defend this land because of just how awful, disparaging, and just insidious it is for people. And you wonder why more and more people are leaving Canada than coming in. That's fact. More and more people are leaving Canada. More and more Canadians are looking elsewhere because of just how disturbing the direction of this country is heading. And this doesn't help the case. This doesn't help the diverse efforts, the welcoming freedom that Canada offers when you're charging people thousands and thousands of dollars, 25 grand for walking outside, enjoying nature, experiencing summer, which, in Canada is very limited. But they're going to do it anyway because COVID was kind of the beta test for them to explore this tyrannical territory. And now it's going to only get worse until people rise against it.